Am I the asshole for telling my parents I have no positive memories with them? Yesterday my friend came over. We have been friends for 5 years now and we were talking about some fun things we did in school. Our school is on a huge piece of land and we found some planks and built a huge fort with a lot of our friends, and it was our secret paradise where we would sleep during breaks or just chat a lot. We talked for hours about memories. It was just like, you remember when? It was a nice trip down memory lane. My parents were pretty happy and they wanted to do the same thing, but I honestly couldn't think of one positive memory I had with them. I used to run and hide because I was so scared of my dad. I also remembered going through homework with my mom and it being a huge blow to my self-esteem as she would call me stupid and worthless. I remembered trying to unplug my dad's Mac charger and getting electrocuted, but the charger got spoilt and I was punished for spoiling the charger since it was expensive. I told them I cannot remember a positive memory and maybe they can help me remember. They talked about teaching me how to write, but that was a negative memory to me since I was basically being threatened throughout the process. They mentioned playing pranks like pretending they were angry at me, but that was negative to me because I was just scared. They called me unappreciative and said that they were sorry they could not make me happy. Condescending. Now I am wondering if I was the asshole. I am not saying I needed expensive vacations to have positive memories or anything like that. I had positive memories in science class and I have positive memories of my older sister carrying me on her shoulders when I was little, but all I remember is being scared of what my parents would do to me, to the point I even flinch when someone give me a high five. I remember my friends asking me why I am scared of a high five when I flinch when they are going to high five me. Edit. I corrected some spelling mistakes. I asked my sister if she has good memories with our parents and she said she does, but she has more bad than good ones with our parents. She also mentioned that she only remembered them because of random things like seeing the Nokia logo reminded her of our parents setting up her first phone, and when she heard some Daft Punk songs it reminded her of us in the car going to visit our grandma. Thank you for the awards and the responses. Not the asshole. They don't like to be faced with their own failure as parents, but that doesn't mean you needed to fabricate some happy memories to appease their egos.
Not the asshole. What would you be supposed to do? Invent some positive memories? I'm sorry you had such a bad experience with your parents. Not the asshole, and I'm so sorry you feel so scared of them. I hope you have someone you can trust and confide in about how you are feeling. Sounds like you are still young. Hope you are safe.
Not the asshole. You gave them a truthful answer. One of the special gifts that assholes have is the ability to make the non-assholes feel like they're the assholes. Not all assholes have it. But the ones that do are tough to deal with. And sadly, many parents who are assholes have this gift. I'm sorry you experienced this. Good luck. Not the asshole, their fault for only creating negative experiences. You get out what you put in.
Not the asshole. It is your parents' own fault for creating negative memories, not yours. They should not get mad at you since they only have themselves to blame. Not to mention, I think it would be equally as bad if your only positive memories of your parents was when they bought you stuff.
Not the asshole, and you may want to look into therapy, because it sounds like your parents really messed you up to the point where you were scared of a high five. It sounds like you might be repressing a lot that you don't remember.
Not the asshole. Your parents created this situation, both by being abusive and then by initiating the exchange of memories. I hope, judging by their responses, that they just fully didn't realize they were hurting you, and that given some time to process they will be willing to change. I'm not saying ignorance is an excuse, it's absolutely not, but it's easier to work on mending your relationship if it wasn't intentional, provided they own up to their mistakes and apologize, as well as work on doing better, of course.
Not the asshole. What were you supposed to do? Lying because they failed to give you positive memories with them. They don't get to be angry at you for being honest. It's their fault that you don't have any good memories with them.
Pranks pretending they were angry with me? If that's not some bullshit gaslighting IDK, what is? Not the asshole. What kind for parent pretends to be angry at the child as a prank? Abusers don't like being called out. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm sure there are positive memories in there, but when you try to think, only negatives come up. To me that sounds like trauma. You might want to work through that a bit.
Oof, not the asshole at all. Them being all defensive and condescending like that is childish and ridiculous. Parents often pull the wool over their own eyes and have very different memories than we do. I've been in similar situations and didn't have the energy to dispute the memory, so I just stayed quiet. I'm proud of you for telling your truth, that is always important.
Oh my god, that is so fucking sad. It even looks like you're still normalizing it a bit, op. Not the asshole, it is in no way normal to have no happy memories with your parents, they are abusive assholes and that's not okay. Not the asshole. I've had exactly the same issues with my parents and it's escalated to a point where we no longer talk. I can't see how old you are but would strongly recommend seeking some counseling to address what's happened between you and your parents in the past, now if that's an option. It sounds like they're assholes.
They called me unappreciative and said that they were sorry they could not make me happy condescendingly. They should be truly sorry about that. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Your parents are so messed up. They did not know how to raise a child without putting constant pressure and fear on you. And now they demand you to feel happy about the terrible things they did and said. Also, this fort thing is so cool and wholesome. Please remember no one is a villain in their own story, so from their angle it's funny. From yours it's terrifying. I'm going through a similar thing with my folks at the minute, so you have my sympathy, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Sounds like you could get a lot of help from this sub. Are raised by narcissists.
NTA. My dad did the same thing with my homework and I didn't learn to ask for help till my 3rd year of college. He got upset when I told him I don't have many good childhood memories too, because he didn't want to admit that he was wrong. You are not dumb and you are not worthless. You are kind, brave, and a survivor. You have your sister for emotional support and us internet strangers too. You will make it.
Not the asshole. The fact that they could only offer upsetting examples of good times together shows that they're both toxic and unable to admit to themselves that they are. People like that never have epiphanies. Sorry you got dealt that hand.
Not the asshole. Their reaction to this speaks to their past as well.
Not the asshole. Not your fault.
Not the asshole. And it's good you could speak up. This almost sounds like some light gaslighting. Maybe check out R, Raised by Narcissists. Not the asshole. You're allowed to speak your truth, whether they like it or not. Not your fault if they're prideful enough to not recognize their own mistakes.
Not the asshole. You have done nothing wrong and it sounds like your parents are abusive. I would seek out therapy if possible, and this is likely to have caused you a lot of trauma.
Not the asshole. You pointed out to them that they weren't great parents. They didn't like that they are now facing the consequences of that. They don't sound like very nice people if I'm honest. Not the asshole. Your parents are abusive assholes.
Not the asshole. As a father of young kids, I feel sick at the thought that my kids will have negative memories of me, or if they go a few days without some positive time with me. I hope this conversation was a wake-up call for your parents. It's a bitter medicine for them to take, and I'm sure they've hardened their hearts to avoid the shame and pain. But they have no claim on you to hold up the illusion. They owe you, not the other way around. Don't expect better of them, but don't feel like you need to enable it, either.
Not the asshole. I don't believe this is your fault given that they've threatened you and made you fear them. It's their fault for failing to be a positive influence in your life. You don't need to say anything more since those memories surely do the talking for you. Your parents were abusive and they're trying to deny it. They can't hide from the truth.
I feel this so hard, man. Whenever my parents want to bring up memories that severely traumatized me as a child, they play it off or seem to remember the situation as a joke. If I ever tell them that I can't think of a positive memory from them, they tell me I'm ungrateful and selfish. I'm sorry that they don't see your trauma for what it is. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. If your parents were hitting you, that's pretty awful. However, just to add some perspective, my oldest kid is very pessimistic like myself. We could spend all day doing the funnest stuff when she was little, and then she could stub her toe or some equivalent injury, and then suddenly she would be saying she didn't have a good day. I do sorry that as an adult she will remember the days she was injured more than the fun we had. That said, I don't abuse my kids, and sounds like your parents did. What is your siblings' take on childhood memories? Lastly, I had pretty scary parents also. As an adult I know why, as they were both dealing with the death of a parent themselves and a miscarriage. I was literally afraid of my dad for years, but I do still have good memories. Not the asshole. You have no positive memories because they failed completely and utterly at being parents. Your mother and father are abusers, not parents.
Same here. I love my mother, but she worked second shift and was never around and spent her weekends hanging out with her friends drinking. Not great memories. My father was a drunk and spent the grocery money on booze and burned down 2 houses passing out smoking. My memories and theirs don't line up, and there's not one time in my childhood I would want to relive.
Oh crap. When a post makes you realize some things about your own mom and dad.
You may want to check out R. Raised by Narcissists. You are not the asshole, and you don't owe them anything.
Not the asshole. People never think that emotional abuse is a thing, but that's what those pranks are. Have they stopped those behaviors to you? Also, even though it was sarcastic, they now know that they have failed you. Please let your sister know about the conversation with them. She can either validate you that there is no good memories or help you remember better times.
They prank you by being angry. Reminds me of the YouTuber parents who kept pranking their kids and now they lost their children. Not the asshole. If you have no positive memories, they got buried by negative memories and they can't force you. Your parents are still in denial for their bad decisions.
You don't have good parents. Why would you have good memories of them? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I have some perspective on this. My mother is the queen of revisionist family history. I used to get really angry about it. Finally, thanks therapy, I got to the point where I could recognize that she is mentally ill and does it because it helps her cope. Now I choose not to get involved. If she says something that isn't true, I let it roll off my back most times. If she tries to get me to sign off on the fiction she's peddling, I say, that's not how I remember it. Do not feel that you need to play along to appease them. You don't.
Not the asshole. Your parents sound abusive, and due to their reasoning and ignorance of that fact, they are probably narcissists. You don't have to feel bad for not having positive memories, or even any memories. Memory loss is a sign of trauma, abuse as well, and you don't sound like you had the easiest home life. You have nothing to be sorry for. You are not in the wrong.
Parents, who spent their life putting their children down and then expect a medal, are the worst. Not the asshole. Sucks how you are the one who are made to feel bad, both as a child and now.
Not the asshole. Tell them they were abusive parents and they need to accept the reality of their failures.
NTA parents often don't see how their choice of words and treatment affects their children. You just have to be grateful for all the sacrifices made for you. Face with rolling eyes. Face with rolling eyes. I mean, you're alive, aren't you? That has to count for something. My mom also used to teach me how to write cursive when I was 7 and would tear out the pages even if one letter was out of place or not as perfect as hers. Now I am 28 with identical handwriting to my mother. I guess the only good thing is I could forge her signature when I was suspended from high school law. No, not at all.
Not the asshole. They abused you throughout your childhood. You should consider going no contact or low contact for a while until they are ready to make amends. As an olive branch, ask them if they are willing to pay for therapy for you, to deal with the fallout of an abusive childhood. Also, if you're under 20, you can sue them in court for the abuse they put you through. Not the asshole. They put in a shitty parenting effort, and therefore, got shitty results back. This is entirely on them, not you. You don't need to fabricate anything when they're the ones fabricating an image of a happy family. You're not unappreciative, they're just narcissistic assholes. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, op. Definite not the asshole.
Not the asshole. They knew exactly what kind of parents they were. They were probably hoping you'd be looking at the past through some heavy-duty rose lenses. I don't know what your situation is, but they sound like the kind of people you cut out of your life and are better for it.
Not the asshole. You know how my mother taught me to read? By reading comics with me. Not by telling me I'm stupid or useless. WTF.
Not the asshole. They sound like a pair of abusive gaslighting bastards who don't care about you.